Shalom, shalom. This is the brother Emma from GMS London Forecasters coming to you with another lesson. In the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, giving all praises, honor and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Akakodash. I want to give double honors as always to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings to the Archimate. They're doing this work in the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So yeah, more news on these missiles, man. You know, these are the things that are going to destroy Babylon the Great, man, aka America. This isn't going, this sort of thing is not going away. Every other week you're hearing news of, missile tests or new missiles being developed. And there's levels, man. There's levels to the power of these things. Some can decimate a town, some can decimate a city, some can decimate, up to 50 kilometers wide or 100 kilometers wide, or 70 kilometers up into the air, man. You're talking about some extremely powerful, destructive weapons. That's why they're called weapons of mass destruction. And, these nations don't know why. Yeah, they think they know why they are creating these things. So like just had to get something out of my mouth there. It's like they think they know why they're creating these things in a sense of deterrence. That's what they call it, deterrence, right? But ultimately, these things are going to be used. They're going to be used primarily to destroy America. Right. So Isaiah 54:16 talks about he created the smith that birthed the coals, right? Create the waster to destroy, roughly paraphrases. Now I might get it, but basically what they're saying is the Lord has put the spirit on these scientists and the people with the money to develop these weapons of mass destruction in order to destroy Babylon, man, because it must be destroyed. All right, for all the wickedness that is brought upon the earth. So anyway, let me read this now. So this is RT, and I know I go to RT a lot for some of these stories, but the reason being is because it is basically mainstream, man. They try to act like they're not, but it's mainstream. So at least you can't be accused by anybody of using false information, man. This is on RT, so anyone can see this. So it says hypersonic missiles incoming, says Russian defense minister, and that's what they're going to be saying in Babylon, man, when it starts hailing down on them. He says Russia's new high-tech hypersonic missile, capable of flying through the air at 9 times the speed of sound, has finished its testing and will soon begin rolling off assembly lines, the country's defense minister has announced. Speaking at a meeting of top military officials on Tuesday, Sergei Shoigu said the trials of Zircon missiles are now finished up and they will begin to be shipped to the military in 2022. He reported that the country would be investing 258 billion rubles, $3.5 billion, in upgrading this arsenal in the upcoming years. See, and now what is he saying now? 2022, right? Because we're hastening the coming. This is that year, man. As Apostle Tahar put that spirit out, that this is the year of the hastening of our Lord. It's like the hastening of the coming of our Lord Yahushua. So now they're talking about 2022. These things will be ready for distribution, and we're hoping that not in 2022 and not far beyond that this is all going to come to an end for Esau. And this place is going to the wickedness of this place is going to be destroyed, and our kingdom will begin to be established, man. And the return of Yahushua, when the chimp being implemented, all these prophecies, the moves are being made, man. The infrastructure is being established. It says by 2026, and Lord willing, we're not still doing this to 2026. This isn't going on. It says the number of carriers of high precision long range weapons will grow by 30%, and the supply of cruise missiles of various types will double, the minister explained. He added that in 2022, there would be 21 launchers equipped with the intercontinental missiles placed on combat duty, which means they're getting ready to roll, man. They're getting ready to roll. It says the Zircon hypersonic cruise missile is designed to provide superiority at sea and can reach a speed of Mach 9, 9 times the speed of sound, or around 10,000 kilometers per hour. Russian Navy officials have said that the missile will help target enemy aircraft carrier strike groups from long range without being intercepted. So, this is about World War III, man. Before America just gets destroyed, World War III has to begin. And that's going to entail the majority of these other countries rising up against Babylon, man. In the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, man. Yahweh's judgment, man. This is all real. Okay, it's going to happen. It says the missile speed combined with a reduced radar cross-section will theoretically enable it to reach targeted aircraft carriers without a chance for defense or retaliation. It is also meant to be able to intercept enemy supersonic missiles. Why do you think there is, especially Russia? Because Russia is mentioned in the scriptures, man. Russia and Turkey, places like Gog and Magog, they're mentioned as being the primary instigators, let's say, in World War III, man, and then destroying, in the destruction of Babylon. And we know Moab, but China's going to be involved in that as well. It says, I'll just read this last piece and get some scriptures, man. It says, earlier that month, Russian President Vladimir Putin had announced that the tests were proceeded well and that the weapons would be delivered to the Navy in 2022. He says now, this is quoting him, now it is especially important to develop and implement the technologies necessary to create new hypersonic weapon systems. Why now? Because the prophecies are coming to pass, man. This devil is establishing his new world order, pushing for that cashless society. He's using this whole pandemic to change all the laws, all right, to separate the people, just like he's going to do ultimately when it comes down to the MOTB, right? That mark, right? This is all a precursor to that. It says high-powered lasers and robotic systems that will be able to effectively counter potential military threats, which means they will further strengthen the security of our country, he said in televised remarks. And let's not forget that just because the destruction of America is going to come at the hands of places like Russia and Turkey, listen, ultimately all these other countries are going to feel the pain when Yahushua comes back. It doesn't make Russia, they're full of Edomites as well. All right, Putin's an Edomite. So ultimately, they're all gonna get destroyed or put into captivity, man. All right, Russia's not the hero. Yahushua is the hero in this. All right. So anyway, that's that. Let's get some scriptures, man. I'm gonna start here. Isaiah 33:1 says, "Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee." And America is Babylon, and it goes around the world, ruthlessly taking over, using its military power, changing the laws in other countries, using its power of the dollar to control everything. All right. Putting, and it's basically, this is at the hands of the elites, putting their world banking systems all over the place, using the military. I'm going to try and do another video about this because there was a speech that Prince Charles of England had put out talking about using the military to enforce the power of the private sector. So what's that talking about? That's talking about all these, these private corporations, these elite corporations run by the elites, are going to be able to use the military powers of the governments to gain control of the earth, man. So it goes to show, it just blatantly shows you who he's working for and who's really ruling this earth, man. It's the people with the money, because the people with the money have the power, and those people with the power are the corporations, man. So yeah, let me no, that's it on there. I thought there was something else I wanted to read out of that, but no. Yeah, actually I got one set up anyway. Let's just get that. Second Ezra 16:8. It says, "The mighty Lord Yahweh sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away?" And these missiles are one of the plagues, man. All right. "A fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall cast thunder, and who shall not be afraid? The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? The earth quaketh." And that talks, that's going into the so-called natural disasters as well, man. And the Lord is pulling a lot of those out now, right? Using it to pass judgment. Judgment is being passed now. It's always been getting, it's always been passed, but so much more now because we're in the last days, man. And things are getting more and more wicked. So the Lord is up in the ante. It says, the earth, verse 12 says, "The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also, but before the Lord and before the glory of his power." And his power is in those missiles, man. The scriptures talk about the earth rocking to and fro, man. And that's going to be from the utter power of these explosions that are going to be taking place from these missiles. And like I said, I'm not saying these new hypersonic missiles are going to do the majority of the destruction. They've got big weapons for that. All right, there's bigger weapons for that. But it's all part and parcel of the destruction to come. Verse 13 says, "For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss, when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world." Right? And this is proves that the missiles are plagues. It says, "Behold, the plagues are sent and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled and shall not be put out till it consume the foundations of the earth. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward. Even so, the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again." Right? So once they're getting shot at, there's no turning them back and deciding, no, we don't want to do that. Let's put them back into the silos. Let's put them back into the subs, the submarines, and the ships and the planes. No. Once they're shot, they're shot. That's it. It has begun. It says, "Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days?" As you're saying. Listen, the Lord is going to deliver his elect. All right. Just as that World War III is about to kick off, or was kicking off, Yahweh Shai is going to return, man. Right? And his elect, and that's just not just the men that are doing the work, but the believers, right, of Israel, men, women, and children, are going to be saved, man. Are going to be caught up in them chariots, and we're going to watch the destruction, from the chariots, man. Those chariots are what the world calls UFOs, man. All right, basically spaceships, yeah. Sound, and to the unbelievers, that sounds crazy, man. But we've seen those chariots, and many times, man. Verse 18 says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils come? It says, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent for scourges, for amendment. Right? So this needs to be done. You know, the wrath of the Lord is at its reaching its peak, and this place needs to be cleansed. You know, the cleansing fire. Actually, it's quicker to do it this way. Quick one here. It says, Isaiah 9:5 says, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood, meaning the battles of old, the wars of old were with, you know, clashings of sword against shield, you know, axes and spears, you know, and actual bows and arrows, man. Garments rolled in blood because close quarter combat, you know, blood on garments, man, blood of yourself and blood of your enemies, man. It says, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire, because this is the technology. Remember that Esau's blessing is the sword, man, and the modern day sword is all these weapons, man. You ever get a chance to watch videos of these Edomites on YouTube or whatever, and the way they handle these guns, these rifles, man, they're something else. It's natural to them. All right, the way they click clack in the round, the magazines and the firing mechanisms and the pin, whatever, you know, like I said, Esau's a professional when it comes to that. I don't really know what I'm talking about per se, but you know, they you can tell that they're naturally gifted when it comes to using the modern day sword, man. And he's a coward, man. He likes to do things from afar, minimal risk, maximum damage. That's why he likes his guns and his missiles. All right, he doesn't have the doesn't have the courage to stand. You know, we had mighty men, man, renowned mighty men that would tear up on a battlefield. You know, one man against 1,000 men. You know, sword and shield in hand, man. You know, buckler. You know, girt around the waist, man, ready for war, man. But Esau doesn't like to do things like that. And actually, I'm going to get Isaiah 50, as I'm in Isaiah, we might as well get what I said at the beginning of this lesson. So Isaiah 54:16 says, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fires. That's the Lord saying that he's created. The smith is the scientist, man, the engineer that bloweth the coals in the fire. You know, what's a modern day smith is the weapons maker, man, the weapons manufacturer, the man who makes the guns and the missiles and the rocket launchers, right? Back in the day, the smith would make the swords and the shields, man, the spears, the axes, the battle axes, you know. It says, and that bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy. Because Babylon's going to be laid waste. All right, laid waste. So, yeah, man. Just a quick one, I think. You know, these, like I said at the beginning, these they're not going to just put these, they're not building these things for no reason. They're creating these weapons to use, and it's really for the purpose of the Lord, man. All right. So yeah, Lord willing, this was edifying. I'll finish by giving all praises once more to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Kwadash. And I'll say Shalom and Wa Abad Babal.